One of the things that I have found to be so empowering and life-changing for me is what I call courage tracking. A lot of times we're familiar with things like tracking your goals, tracking your wins, tracking your budget. But another thing or a practice that I do that has continued to help me live a life of audacity, push forward towards my goals and dreams is what I call courage tracking. What is courage tracking? For many of us, whenever you're intending to push forward in the direction of goals that are big, huge, audacious, scary, right? Anything that requires you moving out of your comfort zone. One of the things that will happen is your brain starts to interpret that as a threat. Your brain is designed to keep you safe. Your brain was created for your safety, or one of the primary things that it wants to do is to keep you safe. And so whenever you come into a place, a decision or a situation that requires you to face uncertainty, face the unknown, immediately that uncertainty, that unknown gets registered in your brain as a situation to come back from, as a red light, as a flag, as something that can be filled or that can be dangerous to your safety. And so the brain begins to send those impulses, and your mind then picks that up and begins to say, okay, let's not do that. That is too scary. Let's not press forward. Let's not, this is the worst that can happen. Danger, 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 essentially, right? And so if you do not understand how this process is taking place, then you continue to shrink back. You continue to take that message that, okay, it's dangerous to move forward. You continue to take that message and you continue to prevent yourself from pressing forward. The mind is so good at latching on negative outcomes. The mind is so good at creating the worst case scenario. Have you realized that even if you're in a situation where, so many people compliment you, so many people say good things about you, if one person says one negative thing or says one, unkind, harsh thing, that thing is what your brain will keep going back to automatically. That's the thing that your mind will continue to gravitate towards. And it takes a person who has learned how to master their mind to now begin to say, but look, this is one out of 100 comments. The other 99 comments were great, right? And so that is what courage tracking does for you. Courage tracking is a system where you intentionally document your decisions, your actions in situations where you faced whatever that fear looks like to you, where you faced whatever that decision looked like to you, and you pressed through, right? You pressed through to the other side and you got an outcome. Many times people will say track your wins, but I found that with tracking your wins, all you're doing is you're tracking just the end result. But when you track your courage, you are saying to yourself, you are literally creating a body of evidence where you can say, okay, on this date, I was faced with this decision. And then this decision made me afraid. I was anxious or, for whatever reason. But then this is what I did. I pressed through the worry. I pressed through this. Or these were the decisions I took. And eventually this was the outcome I had. When you begin to do this systematically, over time, what now happens is you create what I call a body of evidence. When you then get to the next point where you need to make an audacious decision and your mind begins to say, oh, this can go south. This is something you should run away from. This is something you should not do. You have your body of evidence that you can bring up and present as a fact. You say, no, hold on. I've been here 6 years ago or 7 years ago when I was facing a situation that looked so overwhelming, that looked confusing, that looked like there was not going to be a way out. This and this is what happened. This and this were the decisions I took. And eventually I was able to make it to the other side, right? You begin to then create within your mind. You have clear documented evidence that, look, It is possible. We can go forward. We can do this. Let's keep it moving. Oh, we've been here before. Oh, I've experienced this before. So that system of intentionally tracking your courage now makes you a person that, look, even when you're faced with decisions and other people are saying, no, that's so scary, that's so risky, or when your mind is trying to say, oh, don't show up, shrink, keep quiet, or don't do that, it can be this, it can, you're able to say, look, this has happened in the past. This was how it was. And I was able to be courageous in that decision. Remember, your courage or your courageous decisions is not always about the big, what you would think is the big decisions. Sometimes it's the little things. It's tracking down and writing down, okay, today at work, I was, hesitant when it was time to speak up. However, I pressed through that hesitation and I spoke up. It is, someone asked me for something. I was worried at first about saying no, but I chose to honor my boundary. I chose to honor myself. I chose to honor my values, and I said no. All of these things, the more you create them, the more you enforce, the more you create a body of evidence for yourself that then becomes the thing that can keep you going as you go forward. If you're someone who is saying, okay, this sounds interesting, but I don't even know where to start from, then I have created a guide just for you. The guide contains a systematic way for you to track your courage, how to track your activities, your decisions, your thoughts, the questions to ask yourself. Because look, except you intentionally bring before your face the records of your bravery, your mind, life, people will continue to make you think that you don't have what it takes. But when it's documented, when it's recorded, nothing can stand against that which you have an evidence for. When it's documented, when it's recorded, you are able to then give yourself the motivation, the courage that you need when you face such decisions. So depending on wherever you're watching this, a link to get this guide, this courage tracker, would be either in my bio or in the comment section below. Remember, you are braver than you realize. The fact that you're here, the fact that you're watching this already means that you have taken enough brave decisions in your life, but you just did not realize it. You just did not honor it, and you have forgotten it. It's time to begin to intentionally own your acts of courage. And through courage tracking, you're able to build unstoppable confidence, one courageous decision at a time. Get the guide. Again, the link will be in my bio or in the comments section. Till next time, stay well, stay blessed, and keep blooming.